It's a Westminster Rocks tour. It's about the geology of the building stones of the city of Westminster. I'm Ruth and I'm a geologist, and I'm interested in the geology of the urban environment, the building stones on city streets, and also the bedrock geology of cities as well, and how that all affects how we live in a city. So we're going to spend today looking at the building stones in Westminster. We're going to start off by looking at some of the plinths of these statues here in Parliament Square, which tell a lot of stories about people that are standing on top of them. And then we're going to look at some of the building stones of our historic buildings like Westminster Abbey over there, and of course the Houses of Parliament. And then we're going to take in some modern buildings, some churches, and also some very interesting fossil locations which are quite unexpected. I think it would appeal to anybody who's got an interest in architecture, in the history of cities, and a passing interest in natural history and geology. But you certainly don't have to be a geologist to come along on this tour and learn about it. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. Houses of Parliament were built following the fire that destroyed the original building in 1834. Well, this big old superstructure behind me is falling down, and that's the first thing you notice about it at the moment. It's just covered in scaffolding. And the reason is that it was just built from dreadful stone. Even Charles Dickens, writing in the 1860s, said this is some of the worst stone used in the metropolis. You can see it's just come to the stage where they have to rebuild it, and actually it started falling down pretty much the day the first stone was laid. Charles Barry, he's the main architect, and Barry employed the two most famous geologists in the land at the time, Henry de la Beche and William Smith, and they advised him on the stone, and I am ashamed because those guys were legends, and they really gave him the worst advice ever. So he was recommended to use a stone called Anson stone. The quarry manager was like, yeah, sure, I can supply the stone to build Parliament. They cut it badly, they quarried it badly, they laid it upside down, it started to crumble immediately, and here we are 150 years later, really paying for the legacy of this. It's going to cost the state billions to repair this building. All London Walk tours have the same kind of format. We all meet at a tube station. In this case it's exit 4 at Westminster Tube, and tours cost £10 and £8 for concessions. Great pleasure, thank you.
I've been on previous walks with Ruth, and she's really excellent, knows her stuff, and can put it across really well to the amateur. And when you try and think of geological time, it's absolutely mind-boggling.
Have a look at this wall, because every time I walk past this wall I see something different. London's an amazing city for so many reasons, but yeah, it's got such a great mixture of stones, and they really tell the story of the evolution of this city. One of the things I always say is that these days you never buy a bottle of wine or a piece of cheese that just said red plonk on the label. You want to know where it came from, how old it is, who made it, and I feel that people should feel the same about stones as well. This is why London walks. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you.